What's going on, guys? Paul here. Now, in this year, 2024, we've heard a lot about you should automate your business, right? There have been a lot of new influencers on these topics. I can even call myself guilty for that because I hopped on a trend per se. But what I'm trying to say is that a lot of gurus and influencers tend to say that, okay, you can build this automation on Make.com or Zapier, you can integrate it into your business and boom, you have your business automated. But it's not really like that. There are levels to this process, right? So today we're going to discuss exactly what are the steps you should take for your business in order to automate it efficiently in 2025. What are these steps? And by the end of this video, I want you to be able to see where your business is situated between these levels and what should be your next steps to upgrade your business and to scale more efficiently. Now, it all starts with these levels of digital operations image that I just got from Michael Greenberg from Twitter. I highly recommend you follow this guy because he's a AI guru and he's very good at it, right? Now, basically, these levels of digital operations show how to automate your business, in my opinion, from the very basic steps all the way out to the most complex steps, and how you can do this in an evolutionary way. So you don't just get a lot of automations just like I said with Make.com, Zapier, and you dump them into your business, and then you have automated some parts of your business, but you don't know exactly what happened, right? No, you have to take them step by step, and it's going from level 1 to level 5. Level 1 being data silos, all the way up to level 5 being AI automation. Basically, in level 5, we are talking about all of your business is around 85-90% ran by AI agents and very little to none human input. Again, it's a bit of a utopian scene, that level 5, but we are going to discuss about it anyway. Now, we're going to dive a bit deeper into each level to see each level what contains and what you should do to get to that specific level. And again, by the end of this video, I want you to check out where your business is situated and what your next step should be in order to, I don't know, upgrade to a level 3 or level 4 or level 5, I don't know, in 2025, 2026 going onward. The first level we're going to talk about is going to be level 1, which is called data silos. Now, essentially, this level is talking about having every information source in your business scattered in different places. Some of them are even analog, some of them are digital, right? Let's say, for example, we have 3 departments in a bigger business. One department uses Excel for their work. Let's say that's the accountant in your business. She uses Excel. Let's say the sales team uses a physical logbook for their work, and the marketing team uses Miro. So we use a board like Miro board or Whimsical to make all of their posts and I don't know, brainstorm ideas, right? You can see that some of them are digital apps like Excel and Miro, and some of them are even analog, like a physical logbook. Now, let's take some other examples so that we can make it a bit clearer. For instance, let's say we have a small family-run retail store. Now, maybe this family-run retail store has its inventory in Excel, the customer records are in a cabinet somewhere, and the reorder points are in the manager's memory. Now, you even have analog, digital, and some of them are in the person's memory. You cannot scale something like this because, first of all, you cannot automate something that is analog and something that is digital. They are not integratable. And it is not scalable because if you have a lot of your information in your head, right, and it's not physically written somewhere, you don't have a single source of truth, or you don't have sources of truth, right? You cannot employ people and then just train them by, I don't know, taking them and holding them by hand so you can show it to them how you can do this and this and that, right? That's not going to work. It's not scalable. Or let's say we have a local HVAC repair company where they keep their customer info on a logbook, where their job orders are on separate clipboards, and they schedule appointments via phone. Again, scattered all over the place. Some of them are analog, some of them are digital, and they are not congruent. They are not scalable. Now, how can we get from a level 1 to a level 2? We are going to take another example so that we can see what are some specific steps that could be applied to that particular business in order to get it from level 1 to level 2. Let's say we have, as a current state example, a small boutique that keeps inventory on a spreadsheet saved locally on the manager's laptop uses a separate POS system at the register that doesn't sync with inventory records and only has a few handwritten notes for procedures. Okay, now a first level would be to adopt basic cloud tools. For example, move essential data like inventory and sales records to a secure cloud-based platform such as Google Workspace or a basic online inventory management tool. Now, I want to tell you a little story from my experience. Just a few days ago, I met with a digital creative agency owner via Zoom for a consultation, basically. And one of her biggest pain points were, okay, I have a lot of inquiries, I have a lot of employees, but I have a lot of customers that are coming in, but I cannot physically take on more customers because I am not fast enough, I'm not efficient enough with my work. And one of the biggest pain points that I found out were that she had information all over the place, right? She had some physical sketchbook where she sketched a lot of the designs. She had a lot of ideas written on the phone notes app, right? And some other information written in a Notion template. They are all scattered all over the place. It's like you go on a run, right? And you have a brilliant idea and you want to save it on your phone. But after that, you are even going to forget that you have it because it's on your phone, it's in the Notes app, and you rarely check it, right? Okay, so a first step was, okay, pick an app that you are familiar with. Let's say Notion, you're familiar with Notion. Pick a Notion template and try to categorize everything and store every single data that you have into that specific Notion template. For example, take screenshots of your notes in your phone and put them on Notion. Take pictures of your drawings from your sketchbook and put them in Notion. And every single documentation, SOP, again, you store it in Notion. So they can have at least one source of truth into your whole business, because it is easier to streamline ideas and be more efficient with your work. After that, let's say we should standardize data collection, like decide on consistent formats for data. For example, product IDs, customer details, so that future integrations would be easier. You always have to create systems, first of all, so that you can be efficient in your work. Now, to create systems, you have to create consistent formats and consistent data templates that you can always just iterate and not have to build from scratch all the time when you have a new customer. So this would be a next important step: standardized data collection. And as a third step, you should start a simple process documentation, like write out the steps for common tasks, how to check inventory, how to record the sale in a shared online document accessible to key staff members. If you have everything written down, all of your processes, you can use Loom, of course, for processing something that is digital. I don't know, you can process how to create content for Instagram, for example, or I don't know, maybe you should use Scribe, which is this little app that I'm using which is great for SOPs, right? You have to streamline all of these process documentation into, again, one single space, because it is going to be way easier to train your new employees based on these records that you have already videotaped or written, right? You don't have to always be there, and they are not going to feel cringe that, okay, I have to write to my boss again because I don't know how to do these specific tasks. It's going to save a lot of time in the future, and it's going to make your business a whole lot more scalable. Now, as a result of these 3 steps being implemented, the business now has cloud accessible data and the foundation laid for future integration, raising them to level 2. Level 2 is integratable cloud. Let's say you have a 4-piece puzzle, right? And you have all of the puzzle pieces, but they are not put together. Like, for example, you have migrated all of your analog apps and documents to a digital cloud or a digital platform. You have everything in one place. All of these puzzle pieces are from one single puzzle, but they are not put together yet. For example, let's say we have a small marketing agency, right? They use for CRM a cloud-based app, let's say ClickUp. For file storage, they use Google Drive. And for project management, they use Notion. All of these are digital apps. So you could basically integrate them and you could basically automate them, but they are not automated yet. They do not talk to each other. For example, you can input information into your CRM, your ClickUp platform, right? But they are not going to automatically be transferred into another Notion database so that it has a backup, right? You could do that, but they are not automated yet. Or let's say you have an independent fitness coaching studio, you make all of your appointments with an online booking tool, let's say Calendly, and you track all of your clients' progress using a fitness app. For example, that fitness app does not have a feature where you can book, meetings with your trainer, right? They are two separate apps. They are not connected yet. Now, how can we get from a level 2 to a level 3? Again, let's take a current state example. Let's say we have a small marketing agency that uses a CRM in the cloud, a separate project management tool, and an invoicing system. Now, these are all tools that are modern and online, but don't talk to each other, just like we talked before. The agency has only basic documentation, like simple guides for how to update client info and send invoices. A first step would be to integrate core systems, to use integration platforms like Make and Zapier or other native APIs to connect the CRM, project management, and invoicing systems. For example, let's say we have a deal that is closed in our CRM in ClickUp and automatically create a project in the PM tool and generate a draft invoice. This could be like an automation that you can integrate. It's not very complicated, but this links more of your apps together. This links ClickUp to Make.com to Notion. Let's say they're all interconnected now. After that, we could create a single source of truth. Just like I told you with that fitness app example. You could have a fitness app where, okay, you can track all of the progress of your clients, but they can also book meetings with you within that specific app. Or everything is happening in one singular space, one source of truth. But you should, of course, consolidate key data like client details, project status, and financials into one dashboard or central database if you can. Let's say you use ClickUp already. You can create dashboards in ClickUp. You can, if you migrate all of your data and all of your information into ClickUp or Notion, just like we said in the first level, you have everything put in Notion. You can create dashboards there and you can track all of the metrics into one single source of truth in a Notion app or in a ClickUp app, whatever you use, right? And after that, of course, we have to improve the documentation. We have to develop process maps showing how data and tasks move from one to another. For example, create a visual workflow of lead to invoice that explains each step and who's responsible. Now, in level 1 and 2, we have documented some basic processes that we have into our business. Now we have to document the automation that we have created and that link all of our apps. Now, as a result for implementing all of these 3 steps, the business now operates from a single unified data layer and has transparent workflows. This moves them to level 3. Level 3 is unified data layer. If we are thinking about the last example with those puzzle pieces, you have all of them, but now they are completing that specific puzzle. They are put together, they are linked, right? And the key phrase to this level 3 is single source of truth. Let's take examples again. Let's say we have a mid-sized e-commerce fashion retailer. All of their inventory, sales, customer service tickets, and accounting are all in one cloud-based app. And the documentation now includes clear process maps for restocking, returns, and customer follow-ups. So you can see that everything now is flowing really smoothly. Everything is congruent. You have everything in one app or in max 2 apps, let's say. And you have automations for basic processes. A second example would be you have a regional home insurance provider, right? The policies, the claims, the customer interactions, and inspection reports are all in one cloud-based app. And documentation that shows how a claim moves from initial report to final settlement. So again, the documentation is a bit more extensive than in level 3, 2, and 1. And all of your processes are in one cloud-based app. Now, how can we go from level 3 to level 4? Again, we have an example. A regional home insurance provider that has integrated claiming processing, customer records, and accounting into one singular system. They have clear documentation and know exactly how data flows across departments, but humans still perform many repetitive tasks like generating monthly reports or updating policyholder records manually. Okay, a first step would be to identify repetitive tasks. Now, find tasks that are performed frequently and rarely change, like sending renewal notices and updating claiming statuses. You can do this by making a checklist. It would be a lot easier to do this step if all of your workflows are documented into one place. Let's say you use Miro board or use a whimsical board to maybe document the client journey from onboarding all the way to offboarding. So you know each steps, where they are and what tools you use for those steps, what members of your team are working on each step. You know, you have knowledge about all of that, all of those information step by step. If you do that, it is going to be way easier to identify bottlenecks and therefore identify the repetitive tasks that you can automate ultimately. After that, you can implement automation tools, again, just like in level 2 basically, but now a bit more extensive. Let's say you use HubSpot for as a CRM for your whole business. And again, you can use Make and Zapier to create all of these more complex automations that you could attach to your business. And after that, of course, again, enhanced documentation. You have to update the process maps to include automation steps, document what happens if the automated step fails and who to contact for troubleshooting. The enhancing of the documentation, you can see that it's all the time in each level, because you should always enhance your documentation. And if your documentation is really thoroughly made, every step is documented, every action, it is going to be significantly easier to scale your business, because your employees are going to have just like a manual on all of the work that they should do and how to do it, right? And it's going to be easier, and you don't have to interfere with their work. They have all of their work, they have all of the documentation needed to do their job, and you do your job. You are then going to concentrate on how to further scale your business. Okay, so this level, usually it's a bit similar with level 2, but we are talking about more complex automations, and we are talking about more complex documentation. And as a result, of course, with routine tasks now automated, employees focus on higher value activities, pushing the company into level 4. Now, if we are talking about level 3 and level 4, usually all of the YouTubers and all of the people that are creating these complex automations are referring to these levels, because these automations, of course you can implement them if you're on level 2, let's say, but it's not going to be efficient because you don't have documentation for those automations. You still don't have documentation for your whole workflows, you know, your whole processes in the beginning. So it is going to be confusing maybe for some people that have not been in a close relationship with the builder of those automations, right? Like, they have to understand how that automation works and what are each steps that should be taken in order to implement that automation into your business, right? Level 4 is process automation. This is where everything is seamless, from the worker to the cloud-based app to the automations and to the documentation. In my opinion, level 4 is the peak that you can get if you have a small business, right? If you're on level 4, you are you're in a very good position. Now, let's say we have a B2B supplier of office furniture, right? The order confirmation, the invoice generation, and delivery scheduling are all automated. And for example, when someone buys 50 office chairs, the system automatically sends the invoice and notifies the warehouse to pick and pack and schedules the shipment. No one has to push the button manually anymore. Here we are talking about level 3, but with all of those complex automations put in place and with minimal human input. And again, another example would be a medical billing services firm where all the incoming patient data, insurance verification, and claim submissions are all automated again. For example, the staff only steps in when there's a unique issue. The workflow documentation is crystal clear, making the compliance and training much simpler for the new doctors, basically. Now, how can we go from a level 4 to a level 5? Just like I said, level 4 is ideal to have. Level 5 is a bit utopic, but how would we upgrade our business to go to a level 5? Again, let's take a current state example. We have a B2B office furniture supplier that has integrated and automated most of their processes. Orders trigger automatic invoices, stock levels are automatically adjusted, and even shipments get scheduled without human input. Documentation is detailed, but the business still relies on fixed rules, like there's no adaptive intelligence or forecasting capability beyond simple triggers. Let's see what the next steps would be. Now, a first step would be to introduce machine learning models that basically use AI tools like forecasting algorithms and BI platform to predict demand, identify patterns in customer behavior, and suggest when to restock even before inventory runs out. My bad. We are talking about very complex machine learning and automation and AI integration here. Of course, you need a lot of money to build something like this in the first place, and to build something like this that is efficient. I don't think you can right now in 2024. Maybe in 2025 is going to be different, or by when you're watching this video, right? After that, the next step would be to upgrade automation to intelligence decision making. Like instead of if order equal place and invoice, have AI monitor patterns and dynamically alter workflows. For instance, if the AI predicts a supply chain delay, it could preemptively reorder certain high demand products. And the last step would be comprehensive scenario documentation, like update documentation to include how the AI's decisions are made, what edge cases exist, and how humans can step in if the AI encounters new unexpected situation. Again, the same story with documentation, further documentation, more complex documentation, more thorough documentation on all of the processes and even how AI is thinking right here, right? Now, as a result, we have the company at level 5 with AI-driven operations that learn and adapt over time and minimal human oversight for routine decisions. It's like you have the skeleton, right? And all of the muscles are AI. They are working autonomously. And the last level, level 5, is AI automation. It's just like level 4, but with almost none or maybe none, no human input, right? Everything is again seamless. Let's take two utopic examples: logistics and supply chain management startup, right? They've deployed advanced AI tools to predict shipping delays, reroute deliveries in real time, and even anticipate warehouse restocking needs. Humans monitor the AI-driven dashboards, but most day-to-day decisions like which carrier to choose or how to reorganize the warehouse layout are guided by machine learning models. Documentation covers every scenario from handling seasonal spikes to dealing with unexpected natural disasters. Again, pretty utopic if you ask me, like in a sci-fi movie. And after that, we have a high-tech financial trading firm where they rely on AI algorithms to execute trades, detect anomalies, and recommend portfolio adjustments. Traders still oversee strategy, but routine market responses, compliances checks, and low-level decision-making are all automated. The documentation is exhaustive, covering every edge case, ensuring that if the algorithm encounters something new, the team knows what to do. Okay, so these have been all of the steps, all of the levels from the digital operations level pyramid, basically. Now, let's look a bit at the summary, right? So level 1 was data silos. Very small local or tradition-bound business that keeps info scattered and rely heavily on people's memory. Here we have data silos. Everything is basically individual, not in one single space. Level 2 is integratable cloud, slightly more tech-savvy, small firms that use cloud tools but haven't integrated them. Level 3, unified data layer, growing companies that manage to get all their systems talking and have clear documentation. Level 4, process automation, more mature organizations that use integrated solutions to automate repetitive tasks and based by thorough process maps. And then level 5, AI automation, forward-thinking, often larger or tech-centric firms that leverage AI for decision-making with comprehensive documentation and minimal human intervention for routine work. This has been today's video. I hope you have a bit more information on what the levels are when it comes to automation and digital operations in general. I hope you caught the importance of documentation and automation, and more importantly, what you should do before automating anything in your business, so that you can get all of your systems and processes ready to be automated, right? And by the way, I have linked in the description a custom GPT that I've created. It's basically like a short quiz about your business, and at the end of that quiz, you are going to find out where your business is situated between one of these levels. Maybe it's 2.5, maybe it's level 3, maybe it's level 3.5, right? And specific steps that you should take in order to upgrade your business to the next level. Now, I hope this video helped. We are going to talk a lot more about automation in 2025. It's going to be an exciting year, and I hope that your business is going to be only more more efficient, and is going to create a lot more revenue this year. If you still have any more questions, please put them down below in the comments. I will read them and I will make videos about them if I can maybe help you. Now, hope you have a great day, and hope I'll see you soon on the next video.